Hey everyone, I hope you guys are all doing well. Because I didn't finish my YouTube video that I wanted to get out this summer, I figured that I should do a setup tour since things have changed quite a bit since I did my last setup tour, and I think that it would be an enjoyable thing for you guys while you wait for my next video. So it's all kind of in one corner area of this room, and it works out pretty well. The chair I use is a GT Player gaming chair. It's a decent chair. It wasn't super expensive. It was like $150, and chairs can get really expensive, and I didn't want to spend too much. I just wish it was slightly, just a bit more comfortable. But it is pretty good. It does have a footrest. I don't use it too often, but it is a nice thing to have so you can kind of go back a little bit. There's a vibration feature. It's really gimmicky. I don't even use that. But for the most part, this chair is pretty decent. The first thing Leo probably noticed is the fact that I have a 3-monitor setup. I used to have all my monitors across, but I have now added a monitor pole so that I can have a third monitor stacked on top of my primary monitor. This is a nice thing because I don't have to like stretch my body all the way to the right in order to see my third monitor. And also it's good for your posture as well to look up as well, so that is why I decided to get this monitor pole. Usually when I'm streaming on my secondary monitor, I have my dashboard up. Primary is whatever game I'm playing, and on my third monitor I usually have an OBS preview or a guide or whatever else I may need. On top of my third monitor, you'll notice that I have this very neat Twitch sign. You can change the colors for it. I just like the base kind of white and purple. I think that's what looks the best personally. I think I got this from a site called Gleam Layer. I really like the sign, and I think it makes my setup look a lot more interesting. On my desk, you'll notice that I have quite a few peripherals. The first thing you'll notice is my Keychron. I think that's how you say it, keyboard. It is a pretty nice keyboard. I like it quite a bit. It has brown keys on it, and it's really satisfying to type on. The keys on this have not broken off like they did off of my old Corsair keyboard. Over here you can see my Logitech mouse. I like the ergonomics of it. It's a pretty nice mouse. I like the ergonomics of it. Not really much else to say. I don't use programmable buttons a whole lot for the most part because I do have the Stream Deck, but it's really nice to have regardless. Over here you'll see my Stream Deck, and this is a really nice thing. Highly recommend getting one as it can really help you run your streams a lot better. So on the first page you'll notice is I have just kind of small benchmarks on what my current PC is looking like because I don't like having Task Manager open 24/7. And you'll see some people who I follow so that their button will glow when they're live on my Stream Deck. It's a pretty cool feature. Second page, I just have kind of different scenes for OBS, muting mic, starting local recordings, all that sort of stuff. So that's a nice thing to have. I also have a page for all my commands because it just makes it so much easier to have that in order to quickly just put in commands and chat. So it's a really nice thing. On the last few pages, I just have a different emotes, a bunch of quick hotkeys in case I ever need them. But yeah, this is really nice whenever I need to throw some emotes in chat. It's a really handy thing to have. On my desk you'll notice I have an iPad Air. It's the 4th generation. It's a nice thing to have. I mostly use it for school and studying purposes for the most part, but I'm still pretty happy I have one as it can be really convenient at times to have. Next to my iPad, you'll actually notice that I have a MacBook Pro. Now, I have never really been much of a Mac user, let alone an Apple user, but not gonna lie, this is a pretty solid laptop. It's a 16-inch 2019 model, and it has a 8-core Intel Core i9 processor, 32 gigs of RAM, and 1 terabyte of storage. What I like about this laptop is that it has an Intel processor, so it works pretty well with Windows Boot Camp, although I have heard that you can configure Boot Camp on an A4 chip Mac. I think that's what that monitor chip is called. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I like the Mac. It's pretty solid. I mostly use it for traveling and school stuff, but it's still a nice laptop, and I haven't had many issues with it. I got it for a pretty reasonable price off of Amazon if anyone was curious on where I got it from. I've had really bad experiences with Windows laptops. I don't know why, but they've always given me heating issues, shutdown issues, slowdowns. But I feel like my Mac is a lot more consistent. It still has bad days for sure, but my Windows laptops would have some really bad days when they were just incredibly slow at times. As for the headphones I use a Logitech G733 Lightspeed wireless gaming headset. Good sound quality, no real issues with that. The slight gripe is I wish that the mic was kind of something you could put up instead of having to insert it. They're really sturdy. I've dropped them a million times. They're good. The only real other complaint that I have with them is that they're USB only, so you can't use them with Bluetooth. If you ever want to connect them to your phone, you have to use a USB-C adapter, and that can be kind of tedious, and it can kind of disconnect sometimes with the movement. At some point I'm probably just going to get a headset that has Bluetooth in it, but this is a nice headset. It's comfortable, it hasn't broken. My Corsair one broke twice, and that was pretty frustrating for sure. And lastly, on my desk, you'll notice that I have my PC. I personally prefer having my PC kind of propped up on a desk. It's just easier to access, and I think it just looks aesthetically a lot better. In terms of specs that I have an AMD Ryzen 9 5950X. I've considered upgrading that, but I think I would also need to upgrade my motherboard as well. In terms of my GPU, I have an RTX 4070 Super. It works pretty well, no complaints with that. I have DDR4 RAM and 32 gigabytes in total with 4 sticks. It works pretty well, especially because I'm a Chrome user, so it's a really nice thing to have a decent amount of RAM. I have a Cooler Master Hyper 212 cooler. I have considered changing to a water cooler, especially since the Ryzen 9 is a lot more powerful processor from what I had previously. I will likely do that sometime soon. I'm not in a huge rush to do it, but also I could put a nice screen on that cooler as well, which would make my PC look even nicer. My SSD isn't anything crazy, just a 1TB M2 drive. I have a 2TB hard drive just for YouTube projects and whatnot. I also have a 10TB hard drive for all of my VODs, so I don't think I'll be running out anytime soon for those. But you would be surprised with how much space HD video files take up from years of streaming. The motherboard is a Gigabyte AORUS Elite ATX AM4. It works pretty well, no real complaints about it. The only problem I've dealt with this motherboard is when I was taking off my CPU cooler when I was upgrading my CPU, and I just recently, in order to repaste, when I was getting this new case, the CPU came off with the cooler, so I guess the motherboard wasn't holding in the CPU as well. Thankfully, nothing was damaged, the CPU is totally fine, but that was a little bit of a scary thing that happened. I have a Corsair RM850x power supply, works pretty well, it's like the only Corsair product I've ever had issues with. But yeah, in terms of the RGB, I mean, you guys have probably already noticed, it's just nice rainbow RGB. Getting all this configured was a little bit of a pain. I do have an RGB controller in the back. It was a little bit of a pain, especially because different RGB types use different softwares, but I got them all working so they all look pretty meshed together, and I'm really happy with how the RGB looks for my PC. Underneath my main desk, you'll notice my drawer. There's nothing crazy in them. It's mostly screwdrivers, tape, a few music boxes in there as well. You know, things I may need in terms of that. Second drawer I have all my controllers in. Third drawer is broken, but it just has some packing stuff because I do some sale stuff online on the side. The drawer below that, I just have a tripod and like a European 3DS charger. Nothing too crazy in there. And below that on the lowest drawers, I just have some batteries, some cases, some boxes for games. But yeah, I would say this is the one I think is the quote-unquote coolest. On my second desk over here, you'll notice that I have all of my consoles laid out. First thing is my Switch. Yes, I am a pleb. I haven't gotten my Switch 2 yet. Mostly played in docked mode, but I really enjoyed some Switch games for sure. I know I mostly focus on 3DS and Wii U modding on my channel, but I really enjoyed some Switch games, especially Super Mario RPG Remake. I had a blast with that game, so I don't take it out as much with me. I still take my 3DS out, funnily enough. But I enjoy my Switch, and it's a nice thing to have for sure. In front of my Switch, you'll notice I have my 3DS capture card unit. This is pretty nice to have. I do prefer it over using emulation because there's just no issues with certain things being slowed down or whatnot. The port is kind of hiding kind of on the bottom. I got it from Delfino Customs, so if you're interested in physical capture cards of the 3DS in the current day, I'd recommend checking those out. I don't really play on this 3DS beyond that, and I don't even like traveling with it or anything because I just like to keep it here, safe, especially because the capture card is delicate, and I did break it last year, and I had to send it all the way over to the UK to get it fixed. I don't hate the old 3DS model though. I mean, it has some nice things, like the 3D light and being able to flip the Switch as well, so it's not horrible. I don't hate the old 3DS models, but I just prefer the new models, especially because you can boost the CPU performance a little bit on the new 3DS if you know what you're doing. Next to my Switch, you'll notice that I have two Wii U's, yes. On the left, you'll have my main Wii U. That's the one I use for the most part. It has everything configured, all the mod. The Wii U side and the Virtual Wii are both modded. They work pretty well. I can play pretty much every single Nintendo console on this thing, and the injects are very, very clean, so I'm really happy with my Wii U. I love the Wii U. It's a great console, for sure. I got a nice carbon fiber skin. It looks pretty good, actually, especially because the deluxe model can get really, really scratched up. I like how the carbon fiber skin looks, though, on the Wii U Deluxe. My second Wii U is mostly for Virtual Wii stuff, or in case I need other stuff on there, but it's a nice thing to have a second Wii U, and they're really cheap to get second Wii U's, but it's basically my Wii with an HDMI, as I like to call it. I do only have one gamepad, but you can always switch gamepads. It's a little bit of a pain to switch gamepads between Wii U's because you have to go through that long pairing process, but it is totally something you can do, and it's not a huge deal to do. You'll also notice my Xemnas plushie over here. I got it from a third-party site. I had quite a few people ask me where I've gotten it from. It was just from a third-party site. I'll try linking it down in the description description. You guys can get one as well. But it's a really nice thing. I like my Zen plush for sure. I also have a little shadow on the side, just kind of creeping behind the 3DSs. I have like these small stands for my 3DSs. Obviously the white stand is for the white new 3DS and the black one is for my black new 3DS. I like the white new 3DS. I got it pretty recently, got it for my birthday actually. Basically it has all of my data from my old ancient aqua blue 3DS. I got it all transferred over. The Nintendo Work ID as well. It was kind of a pain, but I got it all on this white 3DS just to have it for memories. So all my old activity log, friend list, and all that stuff is on there. This is actually a transplanted 3DS. I think I ripped a motherboard from a broken black new 3DS and I kind of put it in here. It's natively US region and it works pretty well. And obviously I have my black new 3DS. This is the one I'm usually using most of the time. I like it. I got these really neat faceplates. I'm really happy with how these faceplates look. I got them custom designed. I only have it on the top faceplate, but I will probably get it on the bottom faceplate at some time soon as well. I'll link the Etsy seller who did the custom faceplates because I love the new 3DS faceplates. It makes the smaller version of the new 3DS even better in my opinion. I personally prefer the smaller new 3DSs. I do want to get some XLs for my collection at some point though. I like the XLs as well. But especially as someone who doesn't like kind of holding it up, like the weight of the XL can be a bit much at times. I like the form factor of the small new 3DS quite a bit. It's more of a medium 3DS and it's kind of like the sweet spot because it's not super small like the OG 3DS or the 2DS, but it also has a little bit of a size increase. I think it's like 115% of an increase, so it's really nice. I really like the small 3DS. Unfortunate that they're pretty rare. If you were to get these, I would just recommend importing them and doing a motherboard swap from a broken one if you really want to have one that's in good shape. There are some Japanese sellers who sell them for quite good shape. On the right you'll see my PS2. Got this quite recently, mostly for my Kingdom Hearts 1 vanilla 100% playthrough. It works decently. I mean, the disc reader does have some issues, like it can be kind of a pain to boot into a game sometimes, but it works pretty well from with my setup, and I'm happy I have this because input delay is such a pain to deal with for PS2 games, and I just wanted the OG experience as well, so it works well. On top of the PS2, you'll see I have a little Final Form Sora figurine. I won this at the Kingdom Hearts Reconnect convention, and that just makes it so much more special. I know they're like $10, but like this is so special to me because I won it at that convention, and it was so much fun, by the way. To everyone who I met there, all the kind people who were like, oh, what's your YouTube, what's your Twitch? Like, it was just so much fun, and I really enjoyed my time in Colorado, so thank you to everyone who met out with me. You'll also notice my mic. It's a Blue Snowball. It works pretty well. I've had it for years. My friend Yuki sent it to me, so thank you again. I have been using it for streaming for literally the past 5 years, and it has not given me any issues. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I have thought about upgrading it, especially just to one that would kind of latch onto the desk and just keep this one as backup. We'll see about that though. If you look underneath this desk, that's where I kind of have all my boxes on display. I know I could do a better job of displaying these, but at some point I'll probably be adding a display case to this setup. You'll see I have my Nintendo Switch box, that's there, that's in pretty good shape. Pro controller, and also my 2 new 3DS boxes as well. I have them in box protectors. On the right you'll see my Wii U box with all the OG documentation, and you'll also see the Aqua Blue 3DS box as well, which also includes a lot of the OG documentation as well. So I think I've done a really good job of preserving these boxes. Kind of in this corner over here you'll see this small router. That's just because the internet reception over here is kind of bad. You'll also notice my horrendous cable management, and I'm sorry for this. I know I could do a better job with it, but I'll give you a rundown of what I have going on here. So I have my Ethernet splitter. That's just so I can get Ethernet to my Switch, my Wii U, and my PC without any issues. You'll also notice my capture card. It's an AverMedia capture card. It works pretty well. No real complaints with it. I think it could be slightly better, but as someone who started off with like a cheap kind of knockoff capture card, which worked fine for the most part, I'm happy I have this. I think I will at some point switch to an internal PC capture card though. The way I have my capture card configured is a little complicated. So input goes in from the HDMI splitter, which goes into the input. And for output, you'll notice I have my M Classic, which is routed through so that I can get a little bit of a boost of image quality. I mostly got it for Wii games, but it works pretty well with other consoles as well. I noticed it did boost some Switch games as well when I was using it. I would say the craziest console that's connected to the capture card is the PS2, because you have the component converter, which goes into an HDMI cable, and then that HDMI cable goes into the splitter goes into the capture card, and then the output goes through the M Classic. So that is, I think, the craziest thing, but it all works without any issues, so I'm not complaining about that. I just have one simple power strip here, nothing too out of the ordinary. The middle outlets actually don't work, so I should stop being lazy and just get a new one, but it works fine. No real complaints with that. I used to use multiple power strips, but I'm glad I just have it all consolidated into one, especially because I have a little bit of a daisy chain going, and those aren't usually the smartest to do if you have a heavy load setup. Obviously, there are some upgrades I'm considering for my setup. Upgrading my PC just a little bit more. One upgrade I've also thought about is potentially doing a dual streaming setup. This is when you have one PC to game on and then your other PC is streaming your output. And I don't think you really need that powerful of a dual stream setup for it to work pretty well. I still have my old Dell PC for those who know me from the Stone Age. Not really. I used to stream off of Dell pre-built with like a pretty old GPU and an old i7. And it worked okay. It wasn't a horrible PC to start off with. I would drop around like 2 to 3% of my frames due to rendering lag in OBS though. But having a decently powerful PC really is a nice thing for content creation. It's not fully required, obviously. You can pull off some things with some minimal stuff for sure, but it just makes it so much easier. Maybe even getting a desk in which I could keep my consoles on, although that would be a little bit hard because I have like this stacked monitor thing. Other than that though, thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope this makes up for not really posting anything during the summer. Please make sure you check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/DataXemnas. I stream Kingdom Hearts 100% playthroughs, randomizers, and also Nintendo games, so make sure to check that out. And also make sure to join our community Discord server, disc.gg/Xemnas. We have a lot of fun over there, clips, modding stuff, funny stuff from Twitch chat, some memes as well, so make sure to check that out. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching and your continued support. A lot of your support has gone towards this setup, so thank you guys so much for helping me upgrade things just over time. It really has meant a lot. Also, thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. That means like an insane amount to me. So this is kind of like the 1K celebration video, I guess. I know I did something similar for 500 subs if I recall correctly. I may consider doing another Q&A, but I think the Q&A in that old video was pretty good, so definitely make sure to check that out if you want to see a little bit of a Q&A. I will be on a little bit of a hiatus from content creation, unfortunately, streaming and YouTube, which is, you know, kind of scary, I guess, because I haven't really taken a break from Twitch streaming in years. And it's going to be the longest break, probably 2 to 3 months at max. But I really need to focus on this semester so I can be successful. Thank you guys regardless for everything you guys have done for me. I really do appreciate it. Also, I'd really appreciate if you guys dropped a like, comment, subscribe, and other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and thank you so much for watching.